Hello, my name is Andreia and I am a fertility nurse consultant. Today I'm going to talk to you about managing stress, worry and anxiety. If you are part of the 1 in 6 that are facing infertility worldwide, then these feelings of stress, worry and anxiety will be something that you can relate to. It has to do with the diagnosis of infertility that is so challenging, or maybe the fact that this diagnosis is challenging your identity, or the fact that you have tried multiple times to get pregnant, that you had miscarriages, or maybe because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. I want to tell you that these emotions are absolutely 100% normal and expected facing your circumstances. But I want to tell you that there are things that you can do to manage these emotions, and that's exactly what we will be talking about today. What is worry and anxiety? Well, as human beings, we all have this unique skill and ability to think ahead. We can think ahead about the future, problems that can happen, and we can come up with unique solutions to those problems. And this is a very useful skill because it helps us achieve our goals. However, sometimes our brain comes up with worst case scenarios that are unlikely to happen, and this makes us feel worried and anxious. It usually starts as a very simple thought that develops into a chain of worst case scenario thoughts, and that makes us feel worried and anxious. It usually happens when we are facing situations that are new because we don't have any experience to fall back on, or situations that are a bit ambiguous that could end up being one thing or another. Alongside intrusive and catastrophic thoughts, worry and anxiety can also bring some physical symptoms. You may feel, for example, some pains and aches in your muscles, or you may be feeling that you're not able to relax, or you're having problems sleeping, or even problems concentrating, or feeling too tired. But have you noticed that most of the things that we worry about never end up happening? Well, that's because not all worry is the same. There are two types of worry: real problem worry and hypothetical worries. Real problem worry are worries that have a real solution. So, for example, if you don't know when you are ovulating, when you have your fertile window, that's a real worry. But there's something that you can do about it. If you use Mylo, for example, you can very easily identify your fertile days. Hypothetical worry is a worry that is very catastrophic and doesn't have a practical solution to it, very much like the chain of thoughts that we talked before. So what can you do about worry and anxiety? Well, there isn't a right amount of worry, and a certain degree of worry and anxiety is absolutely normal. However, if it's keeping you from enjoying your life, doing the things that you want to do, or achieving the things that you want to achieve in life, that's when you need to do something about it. But today, I'm going to tell you 5 strategies that you can use to manage your worry and anxiety. Number 1, strive for a balanced life. A balanced life comes from engaging in activities that give you a sense of pleasure, accomplishment, and connection. To engage in activities that give you a sense of pleasure, do something that makes you laugh, something that brings you joy. For example, reading a book, watching a comedy movie, or dancing. To engage in activities that give you a sense of achievement, do something that makes you feel like you're moving forward. For example, try a new recipe, or gardening, or doing some housework. And finally, to get that sense of connection, why not engage with people in your household, call a friend, or maybe go on social media. Number 2, is this a real problem worry or is it a hypothetical worry? If you notice that you're getting worried or anxious, ask yourself, what am I worried about? Try to identify your worry. Once you've written it down, ask yourself, is this a real worry or is this a hypothetical worry? If it's a hypothetical worry, let it go and focus on something that is important to you. If it's a real worry, then think about a plan. What can you do to make it better? Number 3, postpone your worry. When you are feeling worried or anxious, it almost feels like your brain is asking you to engage with these thoughts straight away, right in this moment. And I want you to take back control. I want you to say, I'm not going to engage with this worry right now. And I'm going to postpone it. I'm going to choose a time in my day when I'm going to think about this worry. Number 4, speak to yourself with compassion. Often, these intrusive and catastrophic thoughts include negative language towards ourselves. But I want you to find a more compassionate way to respond to your worry and to your anxiety. Start by identifying the situation that triggered this worry. What were you doing when you started feeling worried? Next, identify the feeling or the emotion that is associated with that situation. What were you feeling? And from 0 to 10, what was the intensity of that emotion? And then think about your automatic thought. That is usually the catastrophic thought that comes to your head that makes you feel worried or anxious. Write it down, and then finally find a way that is compassionate to respond to that worry. It might go something like this. I understand and acknowledge that you are concerned about this situation. However, I'm choosing to focus on the present moment. I'm choosing to focus on real problems that have real solutions. And I choose to deal with future problems when they happen. And number 5, practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a way of bringing your awareness to the present moment in a non-judgmental way. You can practice mindfulness by listening to mindfulness recordings or focusing on your breathing. You can also bring your awareness to your surroundings and your environment, or to the activities that you are doing. You can use your 5 senses to notice what is happening around you. This is all for today, but make sure you follow Mylo for more educational content.